as you mentioned, since school. So I okay, yeah.
Are we audible now? Yeah, yeah. I think we might be audible.
As you mentioned,
Oh
since
yeah.
school. So
Okay.
I okay, we can continue, right?
Yes, yes, I think. Okay, so I'll just give a brief intro again. So,
Yeah.
hello everyone, welcome to Not So Nerdy channel, and we have Jeet here. So he's my school senior, and one day we were just, having a conversation that about higher education, and even I needed some guidance. So I was like, कि a lot of people like me would need help, with the process and kaise jaye. So I was like, let's go live, Jeet. And thank you so much for accepting my invite. Also, so I'll give a background. He's a mechanical engineer at NYX currently. He's working there. And he has pursued his master's in Carnegie Mellon University in US. So, how's the weather there?
Yeah, I mean, the weather's pretty good. Today it's sunny, but yeah, it's starting to get cold now because I live in the northern part of the US. So yeah, but there are fall colors everywhere, so it's like pretty everywhere, and yeah, it's good. And also, thank you for this warm welcome on your channel because I have been following you since school, and I know that you have put in a lot of hard work. So yeah, this is good to be on your channel.
Oh, I'm honored as well. Okay, so could you share a bit about, your background, like what motivated you to pursue masters in the US and why US? That's a big
Yeah,
question.
sure. Yeah. So basically, I did my undergrad from VIT Vellore, and I did my bachelor's in mechanical engineering. So like one of the main motivating factor for my for me to choose to go like not just US but like abroad for studies or like masters or anything was that the first thing is exposure. You get an
Yes,
exposure to the international like how all the career developments are going in like different countries, and like their curriculum is slightly different here compared to like what we have in India.
true, true.
And the other thing is competition. India has like extreme competition in terms of like job markets, and even for masters admissions and everything. So that was like another reason for me to choose to go and study abroad. And like since my undergrad, I had like this, you could say a dream or a vision that I want to go and study somewhere in some other country rather than India, so that
Yeah,
yeah, I could expand my knowledge spectrum. And basically it's all about experience and exposure again, that once you get out of your comfort zone and you have to do everything by yourself, and
yes.
you are in a completely different environment, that helps you grow overall, and like kind of makes you expert in a lot of things. So yeah, all of these factors combined kind of made me to choose to pursue my studies abroad. And yeah,
Yeah, why
to answer your
US? Yeah.
yeah, I was coming to that to answer your second part of the question. So I was considering multiple countries, and
Okay.
had to like I did like a lot of research into like what country should I specifically choose.
Right.
So like a few of those other countries were like US, Canada, and Germany, and also like Netherlands. So like being a mechanical engineer, you have like a few good options that you can choose from. So
True.
a lot of people would say that Germany is really good option for mechanical engineers, like automotive industry and everything
Yes.
like that. Then again, Canada, it's like in terms of financially, it's less. You have a less financial burden if you go to Canada.
Yeah.
There are multiple reasons that we possibly will come to that. And then Netherlands specifically, I wanted like Netherlands was on my list because of TU Delft. So TU
Okay.
Delft is a university which is like one of the best for aerospace engineering. And so like
Okay.
to give like a brief background, I have like done all my internships and everything back in India in the aerospace or aviation sector.
Okay.
So that was one point where I was leaning to maybe I might go choose that university. But eventually, the reason why I chose US was I eliminated Germany because I talked to a lot of people, a lot of my seniors and a lot of other people through friends and family who had
Okay.
been to Germany, who are currently working in Germany. And the one thing that they told me, like one con of being in Germany was the language barrier. Because
That I have also heard
yeah,
about it. Yeah.
right. So the thing is that, in India, we learn English as, a second language. I mean, it's probably the primary language in education, but for us, it's like after our mother tongue, the second language that we know is English. So
Right.
for us to go into an English speaking country is way more
More
easier
easier.
than to go into some other country where English is not the primary language. So that was one of the main reasons for me not choosing Germany. And the other reason was like job opportunities. So in recent
Okay.
times, I heard that Germany has not been producing so many job opportunities because I mean, I don't know, there might be multiple reasons, but yeah, I had heard that. So these were the few reasons that I chose not to go to Germany. Then the other reason was like finally it boiled down to like either choosing US or Canada, and then it all comes down to the visa. So
Okay.
yeah, everyone knows that to get a Canadian citizenship, like I mean, the aim is to like settle down here, right? For me, it
Right.
was. So again, it depends that if you just want to come here and study and then go back to India and then work or do something of your own, that's a completely different scenario. But for me, it was like I just want to settle down in either US or Canada. So I was like, okay, let's think about it. What are the like? Let's just like do a side by side comparison.
Right.
And the one thing is that Canada has like easy visa for like once you complete your studies, you start doing a job, you get like a you get PR easily, and then within
Yes.
a few years you get the citizenship.
Right.
So like that process is very easy comparatively. But US, it's a complete different scenario. It's tough. It's like once you complete your studies, then you have like multiple like you have 3 years if you are in a STEM course, and then in those 3 years you have like it's like a lottery system for your work visa. So 3 years you're working, and it's like if you don't get picked up in the lottery, then you have no choice but to go back to India after the 3 years.
Yes.
So, but again, uh, for me it was like if I go to US, the education is definitely better here. You have more job opportunities here in the US compared to Canada. And like for me being in the mechanical engineering industry, like manufacturing, uh,
True.
so a lot of manufacturing is in US and the goods are then sent to Canada. So like in a lot of ways Canada is kind of dependent on the US for a lot of things. But again, it's not like that Canada is a really bad place to go or it's a really bad
Yeah, it's
country
about
to live.
choosing according to your
Exactly.
convenience. Yeah,
Yes,
true.
it's all about convenience. If you want to take that risk, if you want to, spend that extra money for your education, then I think US is
US is the
definitely
option.
the place option.
Right.
And yeah, there is like a backup plan as well. Canada can be your backup plan if you come to US, and that is if you don't get picked up in the H1B lottery in the 3 years that I mentioned, you can apply for an express PR in Canada,
Yeah.
and then you can directly get a PR in Canada. Once you get a PR there, I mean, you can get a job there, you can work there,
Okay.
and then yeah, so it's like, but you have to be on your toes and you have to be like very vigilant about all these things. You have to, like be very actively, applying to all these things and thinking about, okay, let's say if like you have to decide like if in the first 2 years I don't get picked up, then I am going to apply for a Canadian PR. And even if I, let's say, even if I get H1B in the third year, then okay, I won't go to Canada, right? So that's the thing. That's how you play around all these visa situation nuances, and so
Yeah.
that was one of like the most major reason that I chose US over any other country is the quality of education and the job opportunities. These two things were uh, like I put importance into these two things. So for me, it's like yeah, I want to go and I want the best education possible, and I want a place where I can I can be sure that I'll get a good job after I graduate because again you paid a hefty amount of
Yeah, we
fees to your university.
yeah. So we have like a lot of things to cover right now. So sorry
Yeah.
to interrupt. Yeah. Like
Yeah, no worries.
yeah. So, like, we already know that, what program you study and which university you attended. So, can I, like, go a little brief inside it and ask you that, were you sure you wanted to pursue masters in mechanical itself and not something else? Usually people switch looking at the trend, uh,
Right.
कि हाँ चलो the IT field is booming up, so I'll take something in that. And
Yes.
another aspect would be that how did you shortlisted the university? Like how many universities you applied to? If you were sure that you have to go to Canada, I mean, sorry, if you were sure you had to go to US, did you even apply to other country universities just for, to be on the safer side?
Yes.
So,
So I chose a total of 17 universities.
oh,
I
wow.
might not remember. Yeah, I might not remember
Okay.
the names of all universities,
So,
but like yeah. So like there were like 10 or 12 universities in the US, and then I guess five universities in Canada.
okay.
So right. So while applying to universities, I wasn't sure if I want to go to US or Canada. But the thing was that I was leaning more towards US. But again, I had to, have
To
I
have that
wanted a
safe
backup
net.
of yeah,
Yeah.
safe net.
Yeah.
Exactly. So that was the reason I applied to like these many universities, and like the way of like how I chose my universities was kind of looking into the curriculum and looking at the subjects or the courses they are providing, looking at the rankings. Of course, you want to go to a well known and a high ranked university. Then also I looked into what faculty members are there, like if
Okay.
there are any well known professors who have done any like good amount of research. So that was one of the like these were the few factors that I looked into. And other than that, I think the thing that you asked about choose like going into mechanical engineering. So as I previously mentioned that I had like my complete background was in aerospace. The one drawback for me choosing US was I cannot get into any aerospace company here because of like they have laws in place, the export laws, export control laws.
Okay.
Hence, they do not allow any international students to work in, let's say, Boeing, NASA, or any other, like even let's say a small startup, which is like let's say a space startup and anything. So
Wow.
they don't allow international students to work in like any of these companies. So that was one major drawback for me, and hence I thought, okay, I won't be focusing on the aerospace industry. I
Okay.
What I would like to do is like if I would have gone to let's say Europe, then I would have specifically chosen let's say masters in like aerospace engineering or something like that,
Right.
because then you know that there are good companies there, like you have Airbus and Boeing there, you have like like there are many other companies in Europe that you can land a job into, and then you can be in the aerospace industry. But for me, I was like I was thinking like let's broaden like my vision, and like let's see okay, where can I land if I just choose aerospace versus if I choose mechanical engineering. Because
Okay.
if you choose mechanical engineering, you have like a wide spectrum of fields that you can go into from mechanical engineering. It's like everything that falls under the umbrella of mechanical engineering. You can eventually narrow down your skills and like courses and whatever your research work into that, and then you can, funnel yourself into that field. So that was one major point where I thought, okay, let's just take mechanical engineering, and then I'll focus on what part or what field I would go, because aerospace was kind of
Not,
closed for me.
yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Well, someone could resonate with that aeronautical space thing. Like Praveen here. So thank you, Praveen, for joining. He's actually someone I admire, idolize. So he says that, okay, his choosing strategy was no entrance exams, no IELTS and stuff. And he's currently residing in UK.
Oh,
So,
that's
and
nice.
he's appreciating you. He's saying that you looked into a lot of things while considering the, higher education. So he says that he feels so less. But great
Oh
man.
no, don't feel. Yeah, I mean, see, the one thing that I realized, even in undergrad and even when I came to the US,
Yeah.
the one thing that I realize on different stages of my life is that at any point of time, there are going to be people who have, done something more than you. They might have thought of something that you didn't thought when you were like in that position. So the thing is that there's like no point in regretting anything. There's no point in looking back and thinking, oh man, I couldn't think of that. So
Yeah.
it's like when you are in that situation, you are thinking of all the possibilities. And like if you are in like let's say if someone, like for example, let's say when Praveen was choosing like deciding to go to the United Kingdom, I think at that point he must have thought of all the things that could have been from his side, right?
Yeah,
So
true.
yeah, so when you have already passed through that process, you have done your best. And I think there's no point in, just looking back and regretting, because you did your best. So just pat on the back, and just, appreciate that you took that effort, while there are others who didn't even, didn't even take that step out of their comfort zone. So
Yeah.
yeah, there's no point in, like thinking less of yourself, because if you are somewhere, like that's a great achievement on your side. So never think that you have done something less, or you thought you didn't think about this. That happens with me all the time. I mean, that's the human nature, right? So that's completely fine.
So we have one more person, Shreyash, and he's saying that's really sad knowing that international students cannot work in the field of aerospace engineering. Hopeful this will change in the near future. I think that's only in the US, right?
Yeah, that's only in
Yeah.
the US. In all other countries, I think there's no such law. Canada, people have, I know friends in Canada who are working in Boeing. I
Okay.
have friends back in Europe, in Netherlands, who are working in multiple aerospace firms. I also have, like professional network in like Airbus in Europe. So I think this is only for the US. But if you really want to like go into the aerospace field, then I would suggest that like if you're really sure that you want to go into the aerospace, then don't prefer US. I mean, it would be better if you go to like Europe. That would be a better choice. But for me, it wasn't like that. So yeah.
Okay. Well, so we'll get back to the comment section later. Let's go ahead with our next question, which is
Yeah.
actually about your experiences in preparing a strong application. And there, like I myself, I was trying for higher education, so I know that it requires a lot of documentation. You need to
Yes.
have lots of you need to have recommendation letters and statement of purpose. So
Yes.
how, what was your experience like, and what would you recommend to the students that they should take care of while
Yes.
going through this?
Yeah, that's a really good question. So the first and the foremost thing is plan in advance. Plan way ahead. Like start. start your start your planning when like if you want to, let's say, uh, go like pursue your studies abroad right after your bachelor's, then I would say that start planning when you start your third year of your undergrad. I think that's
Okay.
the perfect time to start planning and start working on your applications and everything. And
Okay.
the like for me it was like I mean, I would suggest this to everyone, but it's like their own personal choice. I hired a counselor. So
Okay.
there are these counseling agencies who help
Right.
you
Yeah.
who help you basically guide you through your application process, help you maintain all the documents, and kind of they help you they basically correct you if you have done like if you are like making a mistake or anything. So they correct your they basically filter out all your mistakes, and they help you file a very good application for each and every university. So that is one point that I would probably suggest if people are willing to spend that money. But again, it's not a very complicated process or anything. It's pretty simple. So yes, planning, then start looking at what are the basic requirements. I mean, start looking at what all exams are required, like IELTS or TOEFL or GRE or whatever is
Yeah.
required by the universities. And how you can do that is start shortlisting your universities and make like a three level, I'd say, like divide your universities into three different levels. The one would be ambitious universities, so the universities which are like extremely difficult to get in, but you really want to get into those universities. So let's say Stanford, MIT, all the big name
All the,
universities.
yeah, Ivy
Yeah,
Leagues.
Ivy Leagues and all the other
Yeah.
universities, like yeah, top ranked universities. So like pick a few from those which you really think match your like you really want to go there, and it's like the curriculum is good for you and things like that. The faculties for your field are good. So that is one thing. Like shortlist those universities in the ambitious section. Then there's like a possible or plausible section where it's like, okay, I'll apply to these. I might get into these. Like there's a higher chance of getting an admit into these universities compared to the ambitious ones. But again, these are good universities. So it's like a 50-50 chance that, okay, I might get into it and I might not. So those like that those are the universities where you apply the most. So it's like three or four of the ambitious ones, then four, five, six of maybe the middle ranged ones, and
Middle
then
range.
two on three like safety schools, where safety universities where you apply to, where you are sure that I will get an admit into these universities.
No
Like
matter
you
what.
are, yeah, no matter what, these are universities where my profile, I am definitely going to get an admit. So
Yeah.
even if I don't get admit in the first two tiers that I have kept, the last one I'm sure I'll get an admission, so I can set foot into that country.
Yeah, 100% admission rate.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So yeah, so divide your university selections into like these three sections, and then uh, finally when you have like, let's say you selected like 10 universities that you're going to apply to, then make a list of all the requirements for the application of that university, because each and every university has their own application process, and like requirements change here and there. So I mean, definitely look into that into detail, read every possible thing about the application. I would say Reddit is like Reddit, and then there are other Quora and other forums where you can ask questions, and you can also
Okay.
search for previously asked like FAQs and things about that. So I think gather as much knowledge as possible about the applications and the university itself, so that will help you choose how to approach the applications, and like what all things to consider and things like that. And apart from that, uh, like I usually get asked this question a lot, that should I focus on my GPA, or should I focus on my research work, or should I focus on something else, getting experience, or
Yes,
should I
during the
directly.
college time, that kind
Exactly.
of preparation
So
is.
Yes.
required?
I'd say the thing is you have to focus on everything. Try to balance everything. Don't have like a really bad CGPA, but have like a really good research, and don't have like a really good CGPA, but you don't have like any research or any projects or anything like that. So you
Okay.
want to, yeah, you want to portray yourself as a well-rounded person compared to, this person excels in this one thing. You want to show that, okay, you are above average, or you are good in, let's say, two or three things, and then you also have other things to show. So the one thing that I have noticed from all the admits that I have heard from different like students who have applied to, or my friends and colleagues, is the one thing that uh, these universities here, especially in the US, they don't focus, like the admission committees, they don't focus just on your academics. They also focus on like what extracurricular things you have done. Like, have you been part of an
Right.
NGO? Have
Yes.
you made a YouTube channel? Have you, yeah. So these things count, right?
Okay.
These are
I
really,
didn't
yeah.
know.
Did you like that? Did you work on a startup?
Ah,
Like, you made your own like small startup or something. All these small things matter, because here the universities, they want a candidate who has these qualities, so that when they come here, they can like kind of amplify all of these qualities, and then like
right.
shine somewhere,
So
basically.
you
So
need an
they,
overall development, like you
exactly,
need to show that. So we
exactly.
have a lot of questions actually. Uh, Ketan is asking, is selection of consultants a big deal or not? What was your experience?
Right. I'd say selection of consultancy is like a good amount of like thinking also goes into that.
Okay.
I myself spend like a month or two deciding on which consultancy to go with.
Okay.
So yeah, the thing is that a lot of consultancies in India are probably just scamming you. Uh,
Yeah, that's what I've heard
so
as well. We hear
yeah,
in the
so
news that, the
yes,
इतने बच्चों को admission दे दिया,
yeah,
and now that like illegal admissions basically.
yeah.
Yeah, I've
So
heard
you
that.
need to be careful about that, and that you can do by being aware. That's the thing I'd
Okay.
say. Like, if like just don't blindly believe your counselor. Just do your own digging, do your own research, and just use your counselor as a support for your applications. Be the main character of your application process, and like the counselors are like the side character. They are just there for supporting you and helping you out.
Okay.
So I'd say, even if you have a like consultancy agency or like a counselor, I'd say like do 80% of the work on your own. Like, do your
Okay.
research. Know if your counselor says, oh, you might not get into this university, don't believe them. Like, just counter question them. And like,
Okay.
because you are paying them to give you the service,
Yeah.
so I'd say like just get everything out of them, and that's how you
They
can protect yourself.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they even have those sample SOPs कि ये
right.
use कर सकते हैं. So that's not a
Yeah,
good thing to do, right? Like, what's your
yeah,
take on
that's
SOP? While I was doing my research, I knew कि हाँ SOP एकदम strong होना चाहिए. I saw a lot of YouTube
yeah,
videos. Maybe someone would see mine with you.
yeah,
But yeah, like, what's your take on SOPs? Please tell that.
yeah. So SOP is one document that you want to really pay your attention to, and basically SOPs is like, if you are starting to write an SOP, never read anyone else's SOP, or never take inspiration from someone else's SOP. What I'd suggest is write your life story in like 10-15 pages. Like, fill it up. Like, take your
Okay.
time, take a week, take 2 weeks, and fill like 10-15 pages. Like,
Wow.
make a story out of your life, like a beautiful story. And like, you need to show it to like, think if you are writing your autobiography, then how would you want to portray your your life story. So include like academics, include extracurricular activities, include your achievements and everything. Write everything, then start eliminating things from that. Then start looking, once you have made the first draft, after that you need to start looking into like what other people have written their SOPs. as, or like what SOP got an admit into Stanford, or what SOP got an admit into
Okay.
Berkeley or something like
Hmm.
that. Look in, like, read those good SOPs that are easily available on the internet. And once you start reading those, then you start editing your own draft, and then like make multiple copies of your SOP.
Okay.
I'd say like one which focuses more on academics, the one which focuses more on like curriculum, and then sorry, extracurricular activities, and then kind of try to do a mix match of all of these, and then you would basically end up at like a good SOP draft. Now
Okay.
you just give your SOP to people you trust, or people you want to, kind of proofread it for you. And then
Okay.
let's say someone who has already gone through that process. Like, do your networking, find someone who is like, let's say if you want an admission into some university, let's say you want an admission into CMU, then someone would contact me and say, hey, I am like, I want to get an admit into CMU, I'm going to apply for the admissions, can you kindly proofread my SOP? So I would be like, okay, yeah, sure. So find people who have been in that universities, who are like current students who have gotten admits, ask them for their SOP, as well as
Okay.
give your SOP to them for reviewing, and then they like look into what comments they give you, and then refine your SOP. The more people that you give your SOP to, the more their opinions you'll get, the more comments you'll get, and then from their comments and opinions, generate your own thinking ideology, and then like use all of that advice to like kind of make a really good SOP. So
Okay.
yeah,
That was pretty
SOP.
brief. Yeah. It covered
Yeah, SOP
everything.
is
Yeah.
one thing that I mean, you shouldn't focus, like, you shouldn't focus completely on that. Your application is not your SOP. SOP is a part of your application. It's like
Okay.
you should pay like 30 to 40%, you know, attention to your SOP.
One question from Jayendra is, do projects make up or cover up for the lack of published research work? So if you're not into research, can doing projects cover up for that?
I'd say yes.
Okay.
You should show that your projects, basically, like, you should make a portfolio. I'd just say,
Okay.
like, no matter what field you are in, just make a portfolio of every small project that you have done. You've done a course project that was, let's say, an assignment which you did in like just one night. Put it up on your portfolio. And I think for people who like code, in people in like computer science or IT or EC or something like that, you should have your GitHub or whatever setup,
Right.
and you should put all your projects there. And also, if possible, make like a Google Slides PPT for your portfolio. And
Oh,
if you really have that time, make your own website. That's the best thing.
that's the best
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah, that's the
Yeah.
best thing you can do.
Yeah. So we have one more question from Rahul. He's asking, what were the deciding factors before you decided like accepting CMU? Does having a well-known university in resume CV help in getting jobs? Or is it solely about the projects and work experience you have?
So I'll answer the first half
Yes.
first. So it's like I got five admits in total.
Oh,
Uh,
okay.
yeah, I'll name those universities. So the first one that I got was University of Southern California,
Okay.
uh, and then the other one I got was Northwestern University in Illinois. Then I got an admit into Carnegie Mellon. I got an admit into Columbia University in New York,
Okay.
and the fifth one was University of Toronto in Canada.
Oh, okay.
So I had like four options in the US and one option in Canada.
Canada.
Yeah. So when I had all the admits in my hand, I was like, okay, now this is tough, because again, that USA versus Canada debate was going on in my
Yeah.
head. That okay, which one to choose? Then I chose Canada, US, because of the reason that we already discussed.
Yeah.
And then out of like, now which university to choose, because all of these four universities are pretty good. But then I went ahead with Carnegie Mellon, because the one thing that CMU has is that I like. out of all of these, CMU has like a really good reputation,
Okay.
and yeah,
Ranking.
and ranking. And
Okay.
the other thing was the curriculum that CMU has was pretty focused on like product design and like large scale manufacturing. So I was like, yeah, this is a field that I think I want to be in. And like I also looked into like admits, like previous admits who had gotten into CMU. Where are they now? Like which companies are they working in? Like where did they
Yeah.
land? Who did mechanical engineering from CMU? And I
Right.
also did that for like other universities. So I mean, after all of this, I think CMU for me it looked like the best option to go with. So I went ahead with CMU, and yeah,
Okay, so basically you looked for the, after thing, matlab, after, getting placed, where did they land up? Did you also
yeah.
look for internship prospects in the university? Like, should students
I mean,
look for that?
yes. I mean, it's like if you look into like if you are looking into where people have gotten their jobs, then that kind of portrays that okay, if people are getting full-time jobs, then getting internships is way more easier than getting full-time jobs. So
No, during your
that's
college time, like while
oh
studying.
okay.
Yeah.
While
So,
studying, oh yes, definitely.
yeah.
Yeah, like internships is one thing that you like. I personally and like all everyone should focus on because your internships would increase your chances by at least 10 times to land like a full-time role because most of the times here in the US, the companies that are hiring you for internships in the summer, they would if you are really working well, then they would give you a return offer or something like that when you
Okay.
graduate.
Full
So
time. Yeah.
yes,
Okay, so that's one take.
yeah,
Now, apart from all this, the real struggle comes when it comes to finances.
yes,
So it's a major concern for all the international students, right? So how
yeah,
did you finance your education in US? Because वो तो और भी costly हो जा रहा है.
yeah,
And what advice would you give to students कि कैसे कैसे मतलब they go maybe financial aids or scholarship, whatever. So
yeah. So like I personally, I just took a loan from a bank and I used that
okay,
money for my fees. But I'd say that for me, finances was like I did not focus much on my finances like initially because
okay,
like I had a really good support from my parents. They were like, just don't think about money. We got you covered for that. Just focus on your career. Like choose the best university that you think is for you.
yeah,
Just like don't go like don't be too ambitious and like take something like for example, the reason choosing CMU over Columbia was also like Columbia is like way more expensive.
okay,
Uh,
yeah,
yeah, the tuition fees itself was at my time was like 90K US dollars.
wow,
So
okay,
that was like way steeper than what I had in mind. And again, when you're living in New York, your living expenses shoot up.
true,
So uh, that was again one thing. So yeah, finances, I did not think about if I'm getting a scholarship or not. If like other
okay.
people, other students were getting scholarship, it again depends on universities. So a lot of universities give scholarships. So if you really think that you can't afford a expensive university and you still want to pursue your admission in the US, there are so many universities that give scholarships and have like financial aids and things like that that you can apply to.
Okay, we have to
So
separately apply it. Like it's not automatic.
so there are a lot of programs. So this is like again, it's like a few universities have like they have this one section in their application itself where you can just apply for like a scholarship or something like that. Some
Okay.
universities have like separate programs. Like for example, Stanford has a Stanford Knight Hennessy program for scholars, and you have like those applications for like financial aids and these special programs have deadlines way earlier than the normal application deadline. So if you
Okay.
want a financial aid, you need to like really work like plan way ahead, and like you need to like work quickly and everything. You need to prepare everything well in advance, and then you can apply to all those applications for these programs. A few universities also have an early bird program or something like that. So if you like apply like really early, then there is some scholarship or something. And other than that, like financial aid applications is completely something different, which I think
Okay.
most of these universities have. And if like it's like if you are not well to do financially, these universities would help you. But again, if they select your financial aid application, so
Okay.
getting selected in the financial aid is like really tough, because then like all universities have their own different criterias and things for financial aid. And a few of those universities would be like, okay, we'll give you only like 20% or 30% financial aid or something like that. So financial aid is completely different, scholarships are completely different. And then getting kind of you know getting discounts. I wouldn't say discounts, but I think like, yeah, getting some kind of a discount on your tuition fee, that's completely different.
Okay.
So yeah, you need to like really do your research. If you are thinking of applying into those, let's say 10 universities that you have finalized, like you should know everything about that university, like literally everything before applying, if
Okay.
you can. Yeah. I mean, it's a humongous task, but yeah, if you can, you should apply to all of like, oh sorry, you should do the research, and for all the universities that you are going to apply to.
I think for US it's like very complex. I heard that
Yeah.
in UK all this process is automatic. So if you guys are targeting UK, don't worry too much. Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't have to plan way ahead. The universities usually give by themselves itself.
Yeah.
So we
Even in the
have,
US, there are
acha,
universities that kind of like just give away like, let's say, $5,000 of scholarship, one-time
okay,
scholarship.
okay,
Yeah, that completely depends on the university.
okay. It varies.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, it varies. So you need to do your research on that.
okay. So one question from Jayendra is how attractive is having work experience, like relevant work experience to a university? Since MS is research oriented, how much weightage would there be to a candidate where he or she has worked for a year or two? Okay, so this is a scenario where you have worked in India for an year or two. So you're of course not, research oriented when you work.
Yeah.
You're out of
Yes.
that. So how relevant would be that for masters?
So the one thing is, masters is not research oriented. That's one thing I want to put out there. It's
Yeah.
completely, it depends on you, which course you choose and in which university. So again, there are like, let's say for my university, mechanical engineering had these four different courses that I could choose from. So one was mechanical engineering, a simple mechanical engineering course that lasted like 1 year, 2 semesters, and it only had like coursework, nothing else. Just attend your classes, get your grades, and just graduate. That was the one mechanical engineering masters. The other one was advanced study. So that was the one that I took. Advanced studies basically kind of focused more on the again focused more on the curriculum side, but you have like 3 semesters. So it's like 1.5 year degree course, and you also have like a summer sem in between.
Okay.
So like you have the option of like doing an internship and getting those extra credits or getting that experience, which I would recommend. And then there was this other one which was like applied advanced study. So applied advanced study had like a mandatory this thing an internship. Like the summer internship was mandatory for them.
Okay.
They were the ones who took applied advanced study. So I was like, what if I don't land an internship then? So I was like,
Yeah.
let's not go into a course which mandates you to do something, because I personally believe that a course should allow you to, choose whatever you want to do, choose
Right.
whatever courses you want to do and everything. So that is why I didn't take that. And there's the last one was mechanical engineering research, which focuses completely on research. The minimum credits required for you to like for coursework credits were like way less, research credits had like way more weightage than the course credits, and that was like a 2-year course. So
Okay.
I was kind of fed up with research because I had done like a lot of research in my undergrads. I was like, I don't want to do research. I just want to, do coursework, learn a lot of new skills, learn new things, and just, land a job there in the US. So that was my goal, and I hence I didn't went for the research. So it's completely up to you which course
Program
you want
you
to
choose.
go into.
Yeah.
Yeah, there are like multiple programs for all degrees in every university. You can choose like a thesis option, a non-thesis option, coursework,
Okay.
anything. That's up to you.
So, in short, you need to do a lot of research before, applying to
Yes,
universities and
yes,
actually getting into it, which
yes,
program to choose according to.
exactly. I
Okay.
mean, it's like even if you don't do research, you will eventually get an admit and tum ja to sakte hi ho. But then it's like it would, the more research you do, the more
The less
uh,
regret
be-
you'll have,
the
I
less
guess.
regret you'll have, or yeah,
Yeah.
or the better position you will be in when you are in US. So it's
Yeah.
like, yeah, it's that trade-off.
So we have one more question. It's from Devansh. He's saying, outside of academics, how was your experience at CMU and living in Pittsburgh?
Yeah, I mean, CMU and Pittsburgh is like it's like a second home for me now.
Okay.
So yeah, I mean, it's amazing. It's amazing. And CMU itself as a university is pretty good. The campus is so beautiful. We get all these four different seasons, summer, and then you get fall, and then you get winter, snow, and everything, and then again you get spring. So it's like it's beautiful all around the year. And the best thing about CMU was my friends. So I made a lot of friends there.
Okay.
So yeah, I mean, eventually it comes down to that, right? Whatever you do in life, you want to have some friends, or people whom you can share these experiences and feelings with. So
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, yeah, Pittsburgh is, yeah, it's an amazing place to be.
Okay. And this is not use like this is not us sponsoring, getting
Oh
sponsored by
yeah, yeah.
CMU or something.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
no, no, CMU won't give us a dime for this.
Yeah. Okay, so one more question. Like, let's go back to
Yeah,
financials. So,
yeah,
did you also look for assistantships or part-time work opportunities? And did you okay? So, in part-time also, it would it be related to your mechanical engineering or anything? Because there is
yeah.
that thing now where you can work in different places.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
So.
So for US, it's like you cannot work part-time anywhere except your university.
Really? No.
Yes, so
I didn't know that.
yes, this is one drawback. If I mean, it's not a drawback. It's like if you want to, if you're thinking that okay, I'll earn there while studying and I'll, cover my living expenses,
Yeah.
then I mean, you can cover. I covered my living expenses through my assistantship here
Okay.
in CMU. But the thing is, it's like not guaranteed that you'll get it. It's like,
Yeah.
yeah, so
Limited
the
or
first, like,
limited
yeah,
openings. Yeah.
yeah, it's like you can only work on campus, and it can be anything. It can literally be anything. You can be part of some, let's say, you working under some professor. You are like I did a teaching assistantship. So where it was like I did a TA ship for 2 semesters for the same course. So it's like, again,
Okay.
for my university it was like, if you have done that course and if you passed that course with an A grade, minimum A grade, only then you can, be a teaching assistant for that particular course in the next
Okay.
semester once you have passed it.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's like
So you
all
got
these
that.
rules and things. Yeah, you
Yeah.
need, and all these things you can only find out by talking to people who are already in that university, students of that university, or like people who are like alumni of that university. So I think, yeah, this is one thing to consider, that you cannot work off campus in the United States. You can
Okay.
only work on campus, and that work can be anything. Like for the first semester, I couldn't get any teaching assistantship or research assistantship or a grader position.
Okay.
So I kind of worked as a cashier. Like we had like a convenience store in our university, so I worked there as a
Okay.
cashier for like 3 months. And then like the next semester, I got like a teaching assistantship and a grader position. So yeah,
Okay.
like that usually covered my living expenses, and I had like $200 every month
In the
excess
pocket.
in
Yeah.
the pocket. So it completely comes down to like what you are willing to do. So like I was like, I really want to do teaching assistantship or research assistantship, and I want to work in, like, I want to do something related to my field. I mean, that eventually counts towards your skills.
Yeah.
Eventually, that okay, you taught these many undergrad students or these many grad students, or you graded this, or you managed this. It adds up to your soft skills and things like that. So I think, yeah, that was my thinking towards like, okay, yeah, I want to get a teaching assistantship. And also one more thing to note is that you cannot work more than 20 hours per week
Yeah.
in any
That's
case.
that
So
one I
yeah,
knew. But
yeah,
thanks for telling, yeah.
yeah.
Okay, so Ketan is asking, is the co-op program good? Is it good to go for an international university which has tied up with your university while doing BTech? So, and is
uh,
it
yeah,
financially also advisable or not? Yeah, so some foreign universities tie up with your universities. तो वहाँ से we
yes.
can directly go,
Yes,
right?
yes. So I'd give an example of my university, like VIT. So VIT has tie-ups, like now it has tie-ups with, like, I don't know, like so many universities here in the US and Canada, and
Yeah.
in the Europe as well. So it's like it completely comes down to your financial and your will to shift to a new country at that young age. It only comes down to that. So the one thing is that yes, I would recommend doing that. I mean,
Okay.
if you really want to get that exposure, if you really want to, learn and, grow rapidly, compared to your, like your colleagues or your friends who do not choose to do that, yes, you should. I mean, if possible, I'd say like do your undergrad in one of these countries. Like come to US and do your undergrad. I have like I see the undergrad students in my university here in Carnegie Mellon. I saw them, and like a third year undergrad student was teaching me how to do laser cut, a complex laser cutting, and I was the master student there. I was going to graduate that semester, and he was like teaching me how to use a laser cutting machine. So I did not have a laser cutting machine in VIT. I
Yeah.
mean, I would have to, if there, like, there might be a laser cutting machine that I don't even know of, but I would have only had access to that machine if I would have like approached some faculty who I know is like kind of in charge of that, and who is working on projects that use that machine. Only then I could explore that thing. But
Yeah.
here in the US, I personally believe that you have like extreme exposure, and you literally can do anything that you want. If you think I want to learn this, yes, you can do it. But like that is like it's constrained back in India. So I think that is one thing I would say, that yes, if you have that opportunity, go for it.
And what
But
about the finances? Would you
yeah, so
advise them?
I mean, if you
Oh,
have that money, yes, please
okay.
go.
If you
I'd
don't,
say,
then
yeah.
no.
If you don't, it's like I mean, you can definitely get a loan or something, but then I think if you're not planning on, I mean, it boils down to like what that particular person wants to do. I mean, if you are going to get a job after doing you're like doing like 2 years here in India, and then 2 years in
Yeah.
some affiliated university, and then you are going to get a job there. I think you will be able to like cover your expenses, your fees, and everything once you
Okay.
start earning there. But again, it's like, if I'd say if you are not born with a golden spoon or a silver spoon, it's a tough
Then
decision to make, because it's
true.
expensive. It's
It
expensive.
is
Your
expensive.
university is not going to, give you a scholarship. Okay, yeah, you are going outside. It's like your university is just giving you an opportunity, कि भाई 20 लाख दो पर साल के, and you can go and
Mm,
study there. You can
yeah,
get a degree with two universities name, and like yeah, so it's like getting something in return of money. It's
yeah.
just that. But is it worth? It depends on what university you're going into, and like again, yeah,
Okay.
it has like a lot of variables to consider.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So another question is minimum percentage for masters abroad. Like, what's the eligibility and stuff? You need to
Uh, yeah.
maintain a good. Oh, yeah. So Rishabh is
I
asking
mean,
that.
yes, you need to maintain like a good CGPA or a percentage or whatever. The academics needs to be good. But again, every university have their own like criterias. So
True.
look into that once you have finalized your universities. Look into what are the minimum requirements. So for example, CMU had like they had this criteria that the people applying for masters there should have at least a 3 out of a 4 GPA. So yes, so
Okay.
US, yeah, US and Canada, like a lot of other universities, even outside of US and Canada, score their students in like out of 4 CGPA. So you'll get like n numbers of tools online where you can convert your like your GPA scale, which is out of 10 to a 4 GPA scale,
Okay.
and then just look into like where you are like at where you are standing. Like if let's say you are in the third year and you have some amount of CGPA, it lets you enter the number of credits for each course and what grade you got that for that course,
Okay.
and then it calculates out of 4 what your GPA would be. So for CMU it was like 3.5 and above. So it's like if you have like 3.5 and above, only then even they will consider looking at your application, the rest of the application. Otherwise, if it's like 3.4 or 3.3, they will just reject
Okay.
you.
Got
Yeah.
it.
So every university has this. There sometimes they make exceptions, which is very, very, very rare. It's like one out of like 10,000
And
applications,
if you're
maybe
lucky.
more.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not about luck. It's about if you have really something exceptional to show. That if you show that, okay, I I have a patent in my name, which is like a really huge thing or something like that. I
Oh,
mean,
okay.
yeah, which is like a huge thing, or if you some exceptional thing that you have, which which weighs more than your low GPA. I think,
Right.
yeah,
Like that comes when related to sports as well. If you are playing at a
exactly,
national
yes.
level or something, that's,
Yes, that matters. If
yeah.
you have like let's say played in the Asian Games or something, if you like yeah, if you won a even a bronze medal or something, yeah,
Yeah.
that would count.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, another question from Raj is, how would you say the student life was? The campus
Uh,
activities, events, things to do, career fairs. How would you compare it to other universities in your list?
so yes, I think I have not like I don't know what other universities usually offer, but I think it's like I, while I talk to my other friends in other universities, it's like almost similar
Okay.
everywhere. But again, I think like at CMU, it was really good. Like they do everything. I mean, not just CMU, like all good universities here in the US, they have so many events, they have so many cultural events, they have so many different programs where you can participate in so many activities, so many off campus like activities and things like that. Like I can't even start naming. Such a huge list. Like they took us to this they give discounted tickets for this water park and this amusement park, and like all the
Oh,
students
okay.
we like kind of go together. Yeah. And then we have like on campus activities. We have like sessions from like alumni. They visit the university, and like we have like a free lunch and things like that. So like we have like pottery classes and things like that. These activities are like it's all up to you that you want to go to these play like these like do go and do these activities. But yeah, there are so many activities and things going on campus, off campus.
That's great.
So yeah, that's really amazing.
Yeah. So let's hurry up a little. We need
Yeah.
to come to the visas. And
Yes.
we have one question from the comment section as well. Like, there's a long wait list for US visa. Is that true? And of course, like, you can address this. We will address this question later. First, tell us
Yeah.
your journey into applying for visa, and uh, was there some sort of unsurety कि अब admission तो मिल गया, मेरा visa cancel हो गया, तो things would go down the hill.
Yeah.
So that's a major concern for most of the
Yes.
students.
Yes.
So
A lot of students have this concern, and like even I had this concern somewhere, like 1 or 2%. But the thing is, if you got like if you have like a really good admit in your hand, then you don't have to worry about your visas. So I'd say what my experience was.
okay,
So the visa application process was like very easy. It's like, fill up a form, set a date, select a date. It's very simple. But the thing is that the one thing that some I think someone asked about, there's a huge wait list. There's
wait,
no
wait.
wait list. There are no dates available for the visa interviews. So you need to really plan in advance. Like currently, I think for the visitor visa, I don't know about the student visa, but for the visitor visa, if you want to apply for a visa right now, the earliest date you can get for an interview is somewhere in Jan 2025.
What?
Yes. So
Jan
that's the
2020.
ground reality. Yes.
Okay.
After COVID, this situation has escalated. I mean, there are huge number of students applying to US. So like when I came to the US in 2021, there were a total of 81,000 some students who from all around the world, 81,000 international students. And in the very next year in 2022, there were only 82,000 students from India itself.
Okay.
Yeah, so the other countries, then it's gonna go like way beyond 100K or something like that.
Yeah.
Yes, so for the visa, I think you should, like, if you have the admit in hand, just apply, use that I-20, like there's an I-20 document that you get from your university. Use
Okay.
that and like start your visa process as early as possible. Because yeah, the dates, they start going very quickly. So that's one thing
Okay.
that you need to take care of about. And like, yeah, if you have like a really good admit. So for me, when I went for the interview, I just, like, they asked me for my passport and my I-20. So I-20 is a document where like everything is mentioned. The
Right.
document is given by the university, so it's mentioned like what university, what course,
Okay.
what are the fees and everything, and like everything. So the moment the interviewer, like the visa interviewer, she saw my university name, and she was like, "Oh, Carnegie Mellon, that's fun." And then she kept on typing for 5 minutes, didn't ask me anything. Then asked me who is sponsoring your visa, and I was like, my parents. And she asked, okay, what does what like what's the occupation of your parents? Then I explained, okay, my father does this and my mom does this. She was like, okay. Then again went for typing for 5 minutes, and then she was like, okay, I'm approving your visa. Done. I was
Oh,
out in
wow.
like 15 minutes or so. Yeah.
Yeah.
So again, if you have like a really good admit, they're not going to pester you. I mean, not just a really good admit. I mean, any good university, any university that you get into, it's like they're gonna give you the visa. But
Okay.
the one thing is that all your documents and everything should be ready in place. And the online application for the visa, there's like a form called DS-160. So you need to fill that form like very meticulously and should provide all the correct information there. Once
Right.
you have done that, you don't have to worry about anything, because they have all your information with them. So only like they'll just ask a few things to maybe sometimes confirm. And sometimes I've even heard that, they just ask to see your confident or something, your confidence or
Okay.
something, that if you fumble or something, they might ask a few more questions to kind of, maybe if there is something that you are hiding from them or something. I don't know. I have never experienced that. So for me, it was like
Yeah.
very pretty easy. So it was
Simple.
like, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, it was simple.
And we have question from Raj. What are the different things you kept in mind to stay in status after getting the US visa? As there are a lot of conditions related to it.
Yes. So this is
I
one
have no
thing
idea.
that, yeah, this is one thing
What's
that
this?
you need to know, is that, okay, the student visa is called an F1 visa.
Okay.
and the F1 visa is valid until the last date mentioned on your I-20 document that is given by the university. And that last date is probably like a week or 2 weeks after your last exam or your semester end or something like that. So let's say your course is like 2 years, so they will give you an I-20 for 2 years. I mean, the end date of that I-20 will be like the last date of your your degree course, and then
Okay.
after that, like let's say the last date for me was like 21 December. So before, I guess I can't remember now, but I think 60 days prior to that, or yeah, I think December, November, okay, yeah, I think 90 days, sorry, 60 days prior to that ending date, you can apply for your OPT, that is optional practical training. That
Okay.
is your work visa on your student visa. So it's like an F1 OPT. So your
F1
student
OPT.
visa F1, and that F1 visa has a work visa in it. It's like you come here for any course and you would get like 1 year of work visa
So you
on
get
that.
your F1 and then you have to apply for OPT separately.
Yes, you have to apply
Okay.
for your OPT separately, and that application is like you apply for your OPT to USCIS, that is the immigration agency for United States,
Okay.
and you get the documents from your university. So your university gives you another I-20, an updated I-20 with the approved OPT signature. So they
Okay.
approve your OPT that okay, we are approving this so and so person for OPT,
Work.
and
Okay.
they have successfully completed the degree with all the requirements completed and everything.
Okay. So okay, so that process is afterwards, after you
That
complete.
process is no, that process is before. That's the catch. So they give you that document so that you can apply for it.
Oh,
But
okay.
yeah, but let's say you don't graduate. Let's say you probably failed in some course, or let's say you met with an accident or something. So what the university does is that once your OPT is approved, you have 1 year from the starting date of your OPT. Yeah, so it's like 365 days to complete your leftover like courses or anything. And once you complete that, your university will like sign off that okay, yeah, they have completed all the requirements and everything. So nothing will change. It's like you can then officially work. You can
Okay.
then get a job or something and then start working.
Okay.
It's like that. Yeah, it's
So,
it's like very complicated, and like
yeah, truly.
I'd say that don't focus on that because you are definitely going to pass all your courses and everything. So it's like a very rare case scenario where that happens. It's like you can read it up on USCS or Reddit or somewhere. You can find all the answers to that. But yes,
Okay.
once your OPT starts, so like once your F1 ends, you have about 90 days. Sorry, you have 60 days. That's the buffer period.
Okay.
That 60 days is you can legally stay in the US on
Okay.
your F1. So, and your OPT start date that you applied to has to be inside those 60 days. So, let's say I graduated on 21st December, 60 days from then, whatever the date is in February, my OPT start date that I applied should be inside those 60 days. And
Okay.
once that OPT date starts, I have 90 days of unemployment.
What? You have to
Yes.
stay
So,
unemployed for 3 months.
no, no, you don't have to stay unemployed. If you don't get a job, you have
Okay.
90 days of
Okay, okay.
unemployment, which you can use across your entire OPT.
Okay, okay.
So let's say you got a job even before you like let's say applied for OPT. Then you applied for OPT, your OPT got approved. You started doing your job on the first day of your OPT,
Yes.
and let's say after a month you got layoffed, or maybe you left that job willingly and got a better job. So the day you leave your job, your unemployment days start getting used up. So let's say
Okay.
you are
So,
unemployed for like let's say 2 weeks. So those 2 weeks get deducted from those 90 days. Then
Okay,
you
so
only have the remaining of days to be unemployed.
to be unemployed. Okay,
Yes.
got it.
And once you use up your unemployment days and you don't have a job, you have to come back to India.
Okay, got it.
Yeah.
So another
It's a
question.
very, yes.
Yeah, they are pretty strict. Got it.
Yeah. I mean, not about strict, it's like very complicated. So
Complicated.
you need to, yeah, know all these things before you like start applying to jobs and things like that.
Right.
So yeah. But you don't need to worry about this when you're applying to universities, I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's not required. Yeah.
So one more question from Devansh. Apart from studies, what other skills do you need to survive in day-to-day life in the US?
Oh, that's a really
Skill.
good question. I think one thing is that cooking. You need to learn cooking before you come here. Yes,
Definitely.
you need to know at least learn to cook a few dishes that you really like. I'd say if you don't want to, but it's like cooking is very simple. It's like
I
you just need
know.
to know a few things and yeah.
Yeah.
So one thing is that and personal finances. I'd say this is a really important thing to know
Oh,
to manage your finances, your where you're spending your money, how much to save, where to save. I think all these things are really important. So I'd say like because you know that you are going to spend on groceries, you are going to spend
right.
on like your Wi-Fi or your rent or something like that. So I think you need to save your money that you earn in the US as much as you can because you cannot keep asking your parents back in India to send you money,
Yeah,
right? It's
true.
expensive. So whatever you earn here in the US, try to save as much as you can. Like do all your personal finances, like maintain an Excel sheet or whatever,
Yeah.
whatever suits you. And yeah, I think that is one thing that is one skill that is really important. Other than
Okay.
that, I'd say like, enjoy your life here in US. I mean, yeah, you go and explore new places, go travel with your friends, try new cuisines and everything. So it's pretty fun.
Oh, about the cuisines, we got a question from Adrian. What is your
Yeah.
favorite dish you discovered here while in America?
Oh, that's a, a tough question.
Why? Have you tried a
Because
lot
I
of
think,
things?
yeah, yeah, I tried a lot of things, and I mean, so true Mexican food. I think we don't get authentic Mexican food in India. I mean, at least until when I was in India, I
Yeah.
never had like authentic Mexican food. Mexican food is truly amazing. It's lip smacking. I mean, yeah, you have to try it.
Okay.
Yeah, so I think Mexican food is one thing I'd say. Mexican cuisine is one cuisine that is like a go-to cuisine for me because like the American people they like it's a usual thing that we Indian people like spices and like flavors, multiple flavors in our food.
Yes.
American people like their food is like it's not
Bland.
that, yeah, it's
It's
bland, it's kind of
bland.
bland,
Yeah.
like it's just cheese and like burger and like yeah fries and so but yeah, Mexican cuisine is spicy, it has
Spicy.
so many flavors
Okay.
and so it quite like it resembles our Indian cuisine, so yeah.
Okay, got it. So, while you were in the US, I mean, you are in the US, sorry.
Yeah.
So, adapting to the new culture,
Yes.
yeah, it's very important for any student because हम बच्चे होते हैं when we go out usually.
Yeah.
It's a sensitive age.
Yes, that's
So,
true.
yeah, so adapting, to those adjustments and cultural differences, how did you handle them? And any advice to stay away from, like what to be careful of? Yeah, I
Yeah.
know.
So like culturally, yes, it's a huge shock when you set foot, like when you step out of that airplane and it's like a completely new world for you. It's like a completely different culture here. But the good thing about being in a good university is that all good universities are culturally diverse. So you meet people from all across the globe. I mean,
Okay,
there are so many immigrants like you that come here. So I have had friends from Greece and Korea and Mexico and whatnot, all different places all across the globe. And
okay,
like yeah, so it's like you get to know each and everyone's culture, how it is, and I mean, I'd say be open to everything. Don't just think that, oh, हम यहाँ आए तो बस हमें ये पढ़ाई ही करनी है, हमें इधर पढ़ाई करके जॉब ही करनी है. नो, you like talk to different people, get to know their culture. उनके culture में कैसा चीजें, like how they do it, and like what are the different festivals and everything. Because US is a country where you will find people from everywhere, and you will find all cultures. So
Yeah.
in universities like mine, like we had, like they celebrated all cultures, like all festivals from all cultures, like
Oh.
major. So अगर
Ah.
दिवाली है तो we will have some like Diwali.
Firecrackers.
I mean, not firecrackers. Firecrackers is like thoda zyada ho gaya. You need to get like permissions and things for that. But yeah, there are organizations for Indians. We had like an like Indian Graduate Student Association. So like it's the
Okay.
association made by all the graduate students from India, and then
Okay.
they plan these events on Diwali. We like get Indian food. We like there are performances, someone sings, someone dances, and things like that. We
Okay.
like they get an auditorium or something, and yeah, things like that happen. In Navratri, we celebrate Garba and everything like that. Then like yeah, even in other cultures, like for example, if it's like Chinese New Year, they will have like their own festivities and everything, and you can be part of all of this. You don't, you can, it's like they won't say that, oh no no, ये तो हमारा festival है तो हम आपको आने नहीं देंगे or anything like that. It's like it's open for everyone, and that's the beauty of being in America, because it's
Right.
like yeah, it's like an amalgamation of all these different cultures and people from all around the world. So yeah, I think
You need to have
that's
that broad-mindedness.
yes,
Yeah.
yes,
Okay. Got it. So now that you are working in the US, like could you share your post-graduation journey and like how was your job searching, the interviews, and finally securing the employment. So, what was the process like, and what would you suggest to students who are looking to apply for, like, if they are working there? So,
yes. The first thing that I'd say is the moment your classes and everything start. I mean, yes, that's the point when you start, preparing for, applying
jobs.
for internships.
Okay.
Internships, job is like,
Internships.
yeah, internships, because once you secure an internship, then try to work as hard as possible, and like try to show the team that you're working in the internship that you are a really good candidate, possible candidate for a full-time position. So yeah, that's a completely different thing. But yeah, as soon as your classes start, just try and find out like how these job applications here are, and like what different things you need to consider before applying for internships and everything. So it's like internships are easy to apply to. You don't, like, they don't ask you a lot of questions on the
Okay.
application. But the one thing that I'd say is that have a really good resume, build a really good resume, build good projects, have like good amount of projects in your resume. And yeah, talk to your professors, talk to your friends, talk to your seniors, get advice from them on how to apply to internships, how to get internships. And this all is like just 20 to 30% of your work from like ये करोगे तो इससे 20 या 30% चांस है कि you will get an internship.
Okay.
Networking is the gold mine from where you can land really good internships and jobs. So
Okay.
network as much as you can, talk to as many people as you can. uh, कोई रिलेटिव हो तुम्हारे दूर के जो यूएस में है, उनके कहीं से कोई, if they have any connections, if you have let's say कोई, you have your senior who is working in a company, they can refer you, and things like that. So it's like completely you have to open yourself to every opportunity that you can grab. because
Okay.
uh, because see, being an international student, it is going to be tough. I mean, let's just face the hard truth that it's tough for international students to get jobs, because especially after COVID, the companies here have started looking at, oh, we might have to provide this person with visa sponsorship. for
Okay.
H1B. So it's like we are getting a green card or a US citizen
US citizen.
who might not be as qualified as the international student, but yeah, we can make work. We won't have to file for the visa sponsorship.
Yeah.
So it's like the visa sponsorship is like a huge factor, which kind of stops the companies from hiring you. But again, like, yeah, if it's like a very big company like Apple, Tesla, Nvidia, or like huge tech companies and other companies whose name you have heard, like Google, Microsoft, all these companies would don't like they will not probably think about visa sponsorship as much as other small companies.
Yeah,
So
that is true.
I think, yeah, that's one thing where you need to kind of think about it, that okay, it's going to be tough. So try and network, try and like reach out to people through LinkedIn.
Okay.
Have your LinkedIn profile updated. Like it should be like, even if you like do like a very small project or anything, put it on LinkedIn. It should be
Okay.
updated. Put your resume on LinkedIn. Put your certificates, your uh, if you have done any online courses or anything, put everything up on LinkedIn, and
Okay.
try and reach people from LinkedIn. I think, yeah, that's the best way to approach the internship application and
So,
job application.
was there any support from the university in terms of your, job findings?
Yes, one huge shock that I got here was that in the US, there's nothing such as campus placements. In India, we are
Okay.
used to the fact that okay, university they make a placement cell hai, they will help us get a job,
True.
no matter what. If you do all the things that they say, they'll get you a job anyhow. So that's one thing that is not an option here. The universities won't spoon feed you, but yes, they will support you in any way possible. There are multiple career fairs. So in career fairs, what happens is that there are so like when I came here, it was like kind of it was the peak of COVID here. So we had like virtual career fairs. So we had to register like one-on-one sessions with people from companies. So companies
Okay.
attend those career fairs, and you can choose like companies have like, let's say, three or four people coming from their company to attend the career fair. Then you can choose, okay, I want to talk with this person. Let's say like there are like four people from the company, two of them are recruiters, one of them is, let's say, in some department, and the other one is in some other department. So you can choose, okay, I want to talk with the person of this specific department because that is where I want to get an internship or job.
Right.
So I'll register for a one-on-one 10-minute meeting with them, which you can do through the portal that they provided us in, like, in my university. That's how it happened for the virtual career fairs. And
Okay.
for like in-person physical career fairs, like companies come, they set up their booths, and you have to, like, you can just go to any company with your physical resume, you just give them your resume, you talk to them. And career fairs are like kind of an accelerated way to get your resume into their system.
Okay. So these career fairs are hosted by the universities or what?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So CMU hosted some career fair and
Yes,
you
CMU
applied by.
hosted yeah. So every 3 or 4 months there's like a career fair. Every 3 months, I guess, there's a career fair, and like basically every semester there's one career fair, and
Okay.
like companies from like everywhere in the US, they come and they attend the career fair, and yeah, you can talk to them, you can give your resume, and like most of the companies, it's like the university is kind of making a bridge between companies and the students, so that
Right.
even it's easier for the companies to like kind of shortlist interested students, and it's also easier for students to directly reach out to the people in the respective
In the
companies where they're in.
industry, yeah. True.
Yeah, in the industry. So
So we have one question from Rahul Agarwal. He says, does having good roommates play any crucial supportive role? Was he your roommate, Jeet?
oh, no, he wasn't
Okay.
my roommate. He was studying in California, and I was studying in Pennsylvania. So yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, that's a really, again, this is one of the things that, apart from the university selection and apart from everything else, finances and everything, this is one thing that I think I forgot to mention. So you need to choose your roommates wisely, because roommates can make your life or break your life. If you don't have good roommates, because you are alone here, you are like thousands of kilometers away from your home country.
Yes.
You are alone, you have to do everything by yourself. You're independent here. So if you don't have good roommates, they are going to, cause problems to you while you're not at the university. Because eventually you
Okay.
want to, like, you are going to spend a lot of time at your home here, like wherever you have rented your apartment or whatever. And, a lot of time goes into, cooking and cleaning and everything. So if you don't have good roommates, then, you are going to suffer a lot because of that. And the one thing that I always mention to anyone is that USA is a very lonely place, because
Oh,
yeah, we
yeah.
we come from India, the most populous country on this planet, and there, we find people everywhere. So it's
Right.
like, yeah, it's like we are used to that, and when you come here, it's like it's empty everywhere, and you need to maintain that social activeness. So
Relations.
yes,
Yeah.
so you need some people whom you can, talk to, whom you can be like really good friends with. And like, roommates are the closest people that you can have here. So if like they're really good, then that would completely, be a boost to your, like, because you won't have to worry about anything else, right, at home, back at home. So when you come home tired from like attend your classes and everything, you want your home to be like a peaceful place, and
Right.
a place where
Right.
you can share your feelings and things like that. So yeah, roommates are a really important part of your life here.
Okay. So this is the last question of the whole session. हम already बहुत ज़्यादा like it's 1.5 hour, but yeah,
Yeah.
like what advice would you give to students who are considering pursuing a master's degree in the US and aiming for a successful career? And I want to mix it with another question, which was like, what were your lessons which you learned, and like what you wished that you knew before? कि हाँ ये
Yes.
पता होता तो
Yes, yes.
बेटर रहता
So
सो या
yes, I
योर
think
एडवाइसेस
yeah, I think one thing that students should be prepared is for that life is tough here. It's
ओके
not rosy. It's not like अच्छा हाँ US चले गए तो life is set. And it's not that. It's never that. It's way tough. So I would just say that let's compare two people. One of them stayed in India, got a job after undergrad, and one of them like directly went to pursue their masters in US. So the person who is living in India, even though they might shift to some new city, let's say like some other city, and they are working there, and they are living alone, compared to people who like travel to US. It's like a complete, it's a vast difference. So people
या
here in the US, for us, it's like very tough. So don't assume that, oh, it's going to be easy. Oh, I got a good admit, it's going to be easy. No, every point in time that you spend here, you have to keep thinking about, okay, what is my next move? What is my next move? How can I make my life better from here? So
ओके
just, keep like it requires a lot of effort, like in everything, not just academically or not just career wise, in everything, like in your personal life as well. So you have to manage a lot of things. So yes, you get independence, that's like a really good thing, but that independence comes with like a huge cost, that you have to like stay away from your family, you cannot
या
meet them.
लॉट्स ऑफ रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटीज
Yeah, lots of responsibilities, and you have to manage a lot of things now. So yeah, and even it's like a huge toll emotionally as well, because there are a lot of times when you have to face difficulties. And back in India, you are like really close to your parents, so you can just tell them,
या
okay, yeah, this is an issue, and they can help you out. But when you are here, when you are away from home, it's like, if you say that, okay, papa, मुझे ये issue है, या मुझे ये problem है, your parents are not going to fly in here and help you out.
या
You have to deal with your own problems. So as young adults, it's very difficult for people to kind of survive here. I mean, it's not like impossible or something.
नो
It's
नो
not
नो
like, oh, नहीं आना चाहिए, it makes you learn a lot of things. That's what I'm trying to say, if
Right.
that makes
And
sense.
in terms of, pursuing their higher education, like they should also they should be well researched.
Yes,
That's one
yes, they
thing.
should be well researched. Yeah, research everything. If you, think about everything, like it's like just play. It's like playing chess. You need to think 10 or 20 moves ahead of
Yeah.
the current board situation, and then you need to like think of, okay, what if this, what if this. Think about all the possibilities that can happen, and don't get afraid of approaching a challenge or something, because eventually it's like, what's the worst that can happen? ठीक है ना, यही होगा. What's the worst that can happen? So think about the worst possibility, think about the best possibility, and think about everything in between, and be prepared for everything. That's the more you'll be prepared, the more easier it will be for you to be here, and you'll be able to enjoy more. That's what I'll say.
So Rahul is saying grass is always greener on the other side.
Yeah,
Right.
definitely. Yeah, that's one thing.
So that's a wrap. If you guys have any other questions, you can reach out to Jeet. I have given his LinkedIn link in the description. You can send him a connection there, ping him, and disturb him.
Yeah,
Yeah,
sure, definitely.
he'll
I'll
be.
be more than happy to answer all the
Yeah.
questions.
And thank you so much for joining, guys. And a huge shout out to our principal, Miss Jayashree Chauraria, ma'am. So thank you so much, ma'am, for joining. It was great to have you. And yeah, that's a wrap. Any more questions? Just feel free to ping him. And yeah, thank you. Bye bye. Take care. Good night. And happy
Thank you.
Navratri.